Hello, everybody, and welcome to the top 5 new comics for February 13th and 14th of 2024. I'm, as always, Chris. We got some really cool books to talk about this week, so let's jump right into them, starting with Thunderbolts number 3. This is written by Jackson Lanzing and Collin Kelly with art by Art-Geraldo Borges. I've really enjoyed the first 2 issues of Thunderbolts. The idea, kind of, Jackson Lanzing and Collin Kelly, also known as the Hive Mind, they've had this story going throughout a few books of Bucky Barnes and his arc, kind of dealing with his past and dealing with being the Winter Soldier, and the fact that he never really dealt with that. He just kind of was back. He fought Cap, and then boom, now he's Cap. And then throughout the years, he's had different events and everything, but we kind of just moved away from that, and now he's dealing with what it means to have that past. And they did a lot of that with the one shot they did during Devil's Reign, and then into the Captain America run that they had, and the quick little event Cold Wars that they did. With I'm zoning on the other creator who did the Sam Wilson Cap book, but another great book. And now Bucky's at this point where he's Thunderbolts, and he's kind of accepted who he is and his role in this world. And now he's creating this whole new team of Thunderbolts, which I really love the team. And I love the premise that it's just like, we're coming together, and it doesn't matter what Steve Rogers says. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. We need to get rid of Red Skull. He needs to be done, killed, out of here. And that's the mission that they've set themselves on. And they thought they completed it in the first issue. It wouldn't be a really good series if it ended the first issue, so obviously something went wrong. And they delve further in the second issue, running into Kingpin and this whole thing. And now, in an attempt to recruit the American Kaiju and U.S. Soldier, it doesn't go the way they want. And somehow Shang-Chi joins the fray. I'm pretty sure I know how. It's the fact that this whole story is going to take place in Hong Kong, so Shang-Chi's going to be hanging around somewhere, and he's like, whoa, look at American Kaiju. But I like the idea of American Kaiju, this soldier that was experimented on. It's another attempt at kind of a super soldier, and it goes terribly wrong, and he becomes this giant Godzilla-like creature that runs amok every so often. And Bucky and crew are forced to fight him. So there's just a lot of good fun to be had here. And I'm really excited because I think the rest of the series has been really, really good. And you definitely should be checking it out. After that, we've got Batman, City of Madness number 3. This is written and drawn by Christian Ward. I have absolutely loved this series. I think DC Black Label gets a bit of a bad rap because Vertigo kind of had to die for it to exist. At least that's the perception from the outside world. And it's become basically a house for Elseworld stories in a sense. And on top of that, it seems to be a home for Batman Elseworld stories, which is true. There's been a lot of Batman books that are like mature reader only, not in continuity, doing kind of these weird things. And while that's can be annoying at times, like when they did the Peacemaker series, that was really awesome. I really enjoyed the Amanda Waller versus Wildstorm series. There's been some others as well along the way that are a lot of fun. There's been some bad ones along the way too. But the problem with being mad at the fact they're all Batman stories is there's been a lot of really good ones. And this one's no different. This is Christian Ward taking on the Court of Owls story, which when I was thinking back on it, we did Court of the Owls with Scott Snyder, who created the Court of Owls. And then they kind of showed up randomly a few times, but they weren't a big player moving forward, which I always found weird. Like this court exists, they're out there. Why aren't we seeing more of them? And even though this isn't in continuity, this is kind of a retelling of the Court of Owls. Like, not in the sense of here's his first encounter with them, but we encounter them again, and we encounter the Dark Batman, who in this version is basically a Cthulhu monster. And there's it's a lot of Lovecraft, or if you're a fan of Stranger Things, you're probably thinking that too. But there's like an upside down Gotham that he goes into, all these cool elements that I'm just really enjoying. And then to top it all off, Christian Ward's like a really good fucking artist. So the book all around has just been so good. I my only complaint with it is that, like most Black Label books, it's every other month, I believe, and this might even be late on top of that. So that's a bit irking. Like, I wish we had a better schedule for it. Or, I mean, I kind of think with DC, this is a 3-issue series. You should just commit to 3 issues and just have them already done and ready. But I'm also not the one printing the checks, so I understand where they come from. But I'm really enjoying it. It's been really good. This is going to be the final issue, so rough place to jump in, but keep it in mind if you haven't been reading it. If you can find the old issues, I highly recommend reading the series. 3 issues, oversized, a bit longer. So even though it is only 3 issues, it's probably more like a 6-issue series with the page count. And eventually it'll be in trade too, I would assume. So definitely one to keep your eye on. Check out if you're a Batman fan or you're just a fan of good comics. This is where it's at. After that, I've got the Sinister Sons #1. This is written by Peter J. Tomasi with art by David Lefuente. I am a really big fan of the Super Son series that they did. It's one of the reasons why when John was aged up to become Superman, I wasn't into it, because I just liked the dynamic of having John as a kid. And the Super Son books they were doing that had John, Damian being kids that were put in these very extreme situations. Like, they have superpowers. They're basically Batman and Superman. They're the mini world's finest, but they're also children. So it made really fun stories, and I really loved it. It was great, and I wish we never went that direction, but we did, and here we are. And to see Tomasi come back to the idea with a twist really has me excited. So to have the Sinister Sons, which is an evil version of the Super Sons, with the son of General Zod and the son of Sinestro, a little different, but I'll say there isn't, off the top of my head, there isn't really a one-to-one Batman villain. I guess you could do the son of Joker. That might be a little weird. I don't know. But in any case, we still got 2 great villains, their kids, teaming up to do wacky, angsty stuff as well. I have no doubt in my mind this will be a great read. I'm pretty sure this is just a one-shot story as well, which is something that I personally I love. I love one-shot stories. It's great to have them every so often where you can just dive in, get this cool book, and not have to worry about years of continuity or years of on and on about it. At the same time, if it's really great, I'm probably going to be on the other end of it when I read it, being like, damn, I wish we had more. So win some, you lose some in that case, but really love Sinister Sons. After that, got the Weatherman, Volume 3, #2. This is written by Art-Geraldo LeHeup with art by Nathan Fox. I talked about issue 1 of this series in this YouTube series, where I was really excited for it, happy for it to come back. Really thought that nobody else out there enjoyed this book because I never saw anyone talking about it. And great to see that some of the people watching this agreed with me, were really into this book, and were just as happy as I was. But I think what's great is it came back and it did not disappoint. Yes, it told a flashback story, which is a bit of an origin story, which I have kind of a caricature of myself where, like, I don't like that stuff. And the truth is, I don't like that stuff when it's known quantities that have been in pop culture forever, aka Batman, Superman, Spider-Man. This gives more depth to the character that we've grown to enjoy throughout the series and adds context to the events. So I'm fine with it. I thought it was really well done. I liked how we added in the other characters from the series as well to the origin in terms of them kind of talking about things in the present while we're flashing back to the past. There was just a lot to love here. Weatherman is one of those series that I will shout from the rooftops how good it is. And I just hope that more people jump on board, buy the trades, check it out. It's such a good comic book. If you love sci-fi, you love cyberpunk, Blade Runner, it's all there. It's all good stuff. Hell yeah. Weatherman. Buy it. And we will end with Blue Book, 1947, number 1. This is written by James Tynion IV with art by Michael Avon Oeming. I've mentioned a little bit that I like UFO stories. I like kind of classic conspiracy theory stories, Bigfoot, stuff like that. Not that I'm a believer or anything like that, but they're fun stories to read into. And I enjoy them. It's tough to separate the two. I don't want people to think that I'm some huge conspiracy nut, because I'm not. I don't think Bigfoot's out there somewhere. I don't think that a alien spaceship crash landed on Roswell. I just enjoy the storytelling around it and kind of the culture around it when it's sane and not crazy. But but I love reading these accounts of people who had encounters with aliens and what they experienced, what they went through, and then thinking about them. And this book has done a really good job. The first series, just called Blue Book, was about a couple that was on a trip. They experienced an alien coming, abducted them, brought them back, and then how that affected their life and the events of their life. And this one, we're going all the way back to 1947. We're dealing with the Kenneth Arnold story, who was a pilot that saw this flash of light and says it's an alien. While I'm familiar with this story from reading in the past, I think the art in this book, Oeming's one of those artists that can be hit or miss. I think he needs to be on the right title. I wouldn't want Oeming on a Batman title, but Oeming on Powers, that's good stuff. And Oeming on this book fits what they're doing. They're telling real stories, at least the events that the people in the stories say happened, and it's done in a stylized way that adds to the storytelling of it. It's just a good, fun book. If you're into that type of stuff, you like reading about these stories, you like alien encounter stuff, it's a good read. At least the first volume was, and I'm hoping the next volume is as well, because I really enjoy it. So everybody, that is everything I had for you this week. So if you want to support the series, this channel, me, the best ways to do it, follow me on social media. It's at Fortress Chris, pretty much everywhere. And if you want to support everything, another great way is to subscribe, share, comment down below on this video. If you are subscribed to the channel and you want to keep getting notifications about what we're putting up, the great interviews we're doing, this series, all that stuff, hit that notification button, the little bell, and you'll get the push notifications on your phone to let you know when we're doing fun stuff. And you can also find me every week at the Fortress Comic News Podcast. You can get on any podcatcher of your choice or right here on YouTube every week. And that's where we do our creator interviews. We talk to people throughout the industry, people from independent Kickstarter creators doing their first book to people working at Marvel and DC at the peak of their career. We've had them all. And we continue to try to find great people to talk to on there as well. So I hope you check all that out. I appreciate your support and thank you for watching. I'll see you out here next week.